would not like that. Okay, so I guess, let's see.
Yeah, do you want to move the podium over?
Nah, I'm okay, I guess. Okay, so in Utah, our concern was twofold. That our legislature seems to respond more to people who give them money than to citizens and their concerns. And, you know, that just seems to have gone on for a very long time, and it's seeming to accelerate. To me, it seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, you used to be able to buy a legislator for what, $1,000? Now it takes $10,000, $15,000, $100,000 to buy a legislator. So we were very worried that that was, you know, that trend is not good. And we wanted them to respond to us as citizens, not because we're rich, not because we're well connected, but because we are their voters and their constituents, and we have concerns about our homes and our state government. So, some states have relied extensively on initiatives. In Utah, we don't. You know, Oregon has had 349 ballot initiatives in its entire history. California, whom you read a lot about, has had 331. And in Utah, over the entire course of our history, we've only had 20. So the initiative for government ethics reform, and let me tell you how this works. And this should surprise you a little bit about how far-sighted our founders were. Article 1, Section 1 of the Utah Constitution says there are two sources of legislative power. Two. And it lists them, A and B. The two sources of legislative power, the power to make statutes, the power to make law, A, the legislature, and B, of equal power, the people. The people. How cool is that? So we decided as people, as citizens, that we would get together and we would draft this initiative to reform the ethics in our legislature, and that we would then take it to the voters to see if we, the people, can enact our own statute. Because the legislature, as you heard from Carl Snell, has done nothing or little for years and years and years. So, in Utah, the citizens may enact a new law, and that's what we intend to do. Now, you may read this entire initiative on the website. Okay, so that website is www.utahethics.org. The initiative has three basic parts. This is what it does, and this is all it does. It establishes the Utah Independent Ethics Commission, an independent ethics commission. That means free of politics, free of partisan views, disinterested, not uninterested, not bored, disinterested, and independent in a good way, okay? It establishes the Independent Ethics Commission. It implements a legislative code of conduct. It establishes standards that will bind the members of the legislature and candidates for the legislature and people who donate to their campaigns. It will establish a code of conduct. The code of conduct is going to be enforced by the legislature. Okay, and it's important to understand that. The Ethics Commission will make independent findings, but these findings will be referred to the legislature. And we can get into the legality of that in a minute. But this initiative will outline the rules by which the Ethics Commission independently will investigate allegations of misbehavior and will make recommendations to the legislature, so that the legislature may, as a jury of peers, enforce or not enforce adopt or not adopt what the Ethics Commission does. Okay, now there's an executive summary that are we handing that out, Ned? Do we have that?
Yes. We do, and then when they leave, they can pick that up.
Okay. So when you there is an executive summary that you'll be handed out tonight. I'm just going to go through it really quickly. First of all, the bill will create, as we said, a nonpartisan, neutral, independent ethics commission, as something like 40 other states have already done. We're way behind the power curve on that. The 5-member commission will serve staggered 5-year terms. They will not be paid. The names of the 5 commission members will be drawn at random from a pool of 20 individuals who will have to meet certain credentials, like they have to have standing in their community, they have to be educated. And after these 20 people are agreed upon unanimously by the leaders of the House and the Senate, so they're going to decide who will be in this pool of 20 candidates, then out of a hat, they will draw, first the House, then the Senate, 5 names. And those people randomly drawn will be the 5 members of the Independent Ethics Commission. The commission will then appoint an executive director who must be an attorney, but only that person has to be an attorney. And supporting staff will be chosen by the commission. The commission will receive and investigate complaints of ethics violations lodged by any 3 persons. Now, note that currently in the Utah Code, it's a much lower standard. The statute that the legislature itself has enacted permits any one person, just one person, can launch an investigation into criminal conduct of a legislator. But under our bill, we have a higher standard, and we require that 3 people must lodge a complaint. You can't get 3 people, can't do the complaint. Now, it's also important to note that these 3 people have to be pretty serious about what they're charging, because they will not have their attorney's fees paid. The legislator who's accused will have his or her attorney's fees paid, win or lose, but the 3 complainants are going to go through this process with no money. So they have to be pretty serious, and they have to think pretty hard about what they're going to claim. So the commission then will investigate and will make recommendations, and they will make recommendations to the legislature. And the legislature then will decide what to do with the independent commission's recommendations. Should they adopt them? Should they dismiss them? Should they refuse to? Should they modify them? So that the legislature under our Constitution has the right to determine the qualifications of its own members. Article 6, Section 10 of our state constitution. Therefore, the commission doesn't have any authority to sanction or punish anyone. They simply make recommendations and refer it to the legislature. The commission will also require annual financial disclosures of candidates for the legislature and members of the legislature. And they will also develop mandatory ethics training for members of the legislature and the legislative staff. And what we have discovered over time is that many, many, many of our current legislators do not understand when they have a conflict of interest, when they are self-dealing. They just aren't trained. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised by that, because so many of them are not attorneys. They're CPAs, or they're doctors, or they're developers. And it's very, very interesting in working in the drafting committee and working with sitting legislators and getting comments from people that vetted it, how they really are they really don't understand ethics. I guess I should, I'm surprised by that, but I guess I shouldn't be. So the second thing is that there is a